Welcome to Sai Tech Info channel, my dear students. This video message is not only meant for the teachers but also for students. In my opinion, everyone is a teacher. But I would have mentioned that not everyone is a teacher. But my final conclusion will be everyone is a teacher. Even though we start with teaching is not everybody's cup of tea. Here I will be discussing about these three aspects: cup of tea, collaborative learning, then learning domains. When I say teaching, that is not everybody's cup of tea, you should understand that all cannot become a good teacher. And that is why, if you like your teacher, you will like that subject. If you like that subject, you will score better marks. It's a simple logic. Even though a teacher is very good, very smart, but when there is any problem with him or her, for example, when he is scolded at you in front of others, immediately you start hating him or hating her, and you start disliking the teacher as well as the subject also. So from this, one point is very clear: whether we score good marks or worst marks, the contribution by the teacher is also an influencing factor. Am I right? So in that case, I said at the outset of this lecture, everyone can teach. Why? They can learn more. When you teach others, the extent of retention is more. That teaching itself becomes an experience for you, because learning is an experience. That is why I used to say, that is, while you teach, you are learning. But you know very well, without learning, you cannot teach. So, teaching and learning, when you combine these together, actually, the teachers are learning. I am also learning. When I say learning, means I am updating my knowledge. When you don't update your knowledge, you become obsolete, you are outdated. And that is why the teachers should never stop with updating their knowledge. They should not stop learning, they should continue learning. I'll explain about this later. Now I want to say something more about this teaching community. When you don't reach the students, you are unable to teach you. So a good teacher should be capable of reaching the audience. Am I right? You should engage the students just by your first outlook. At the outset, when you start the lecture, you must engage them immediately. Then only, I cannot take any class all of a sudden. It may be boring. Instead, when I engage you, probably that is, I will see to that you are also in my mood. I am slowly bringing up to the level of acceptance. So, when you are able to accept your teacher, you are capable of learning automatically. Is it not? So, these are the main things I wanted to share with you. Then, I was talking about this mutual learning, collaborative learning. So, this collaborative learning means, that is, learning and the teaching is, they are something like performing some yaga or yajna. Even in that yajna, you would have seen that the saints or the people concerned will be, one person will be pouring ghee to the fire, another person will be showing the sticks and that is enhancing the fire. He will be supporting. So likewise, the teacher and the taught, they should mutually have some common language so that each other can easily understand. And not only that, learning is the change of attitude. You should have some change in attitude. You don't have the same attitude as you had been in the LKG. Now you have grown up. Now you have come to the college stage. Am I right? You don't have the same behavior like your LKG. So it means you have learned something in life. And that is why you behave gently whenever you come to the college. But you should understand that learning is an equation. It can be interpreted as an equation. It is nothing but the difference between exit behavior and entry behavior. So here you can enter into the classroom. When you enter into the classroom, you come with certain level of what? The behavior. In this case, certain level of knowledge. When you go out of the classroom, what happens here? You have derived some knowledge. So you are going out the classroom with certain quantity of knowledge. So it means the difference between the exit behavior and entry behavior is equal to the quantum of learning. Now, let us move to the next aspect. What is learning in Indian culture? So, in Indian culture, they insist on careful listening. It's called Shravana, means listening, perfect listening. And then Mananam. Mananam means reflection. So, whatever you have learned should be reflected. That is, you have to practice in your mind. And the contemplation, Nididhyasanam. You have to focus on one single aspect. So, these three are listed in Indian culture as the learning levels. And they have never used the word writing, all these things, because at that time writing was not there. Is it not? Probably later they used to do some, that is some monolithic work or what do you call this, Suvadi, etc. But in the earlier stage, there was no writing. We used to practice. For example, even when we were small babies, your mother would not have shown any writing. They don't. They simply, that is, insist you till to reciprocate or to, that is, reflect whatever you are telling your mother. Hey amma sollu, hey appa sollu, like that. Immediately the child will repeat. So only by means of repetition, by listening, the child is able to learn the language very quickly from the mother. So in this case, your mother is the first teacher, and she has used the only tool, what is that? Repetition. So you can transfer the knowledge only by repetition, initially, by listening. And that is why I used to say, good listeners are great leaders. So now, let us move to the next one. That is, you have to reflect. Whatever you have studied, you have learned, should be practiced and focus on single concept. This is according to the ancient Indian culture. Now, what is the modern trend about learning? That is, here also they insist on rote. Rote means memorization of certain words, key terms by repetition. You have to repeat. For example, even in when you learn any sloka, the teacher will insist on reciting the same words. Is it not? I too have practiced like this and taught you like this. And here, these things can be memorized by repetition. And what are the things here which are memorized? Terms, definitions, formula, equation, symbol, even songs, some poems, etc., even slokas. It means that is by repetition only certain things can be transferred to your brain, so that it is recorded perfectly in your brain. We used to tell in Tamil, Pasumarathu Aani Pol Parindadu. It was recorded as though a raw wood is nailed, where it will penetrate, it will be very strong when it gets dried also. So, comprehension means to understand. That is the next level. And then application, that is, you must put into practice. I know the procedure, I know how to draw, but you have to practice. And you have to correlate, associate. Correlation means association with the learned and the subsequent learning. Whatever you have already learned should be correlated. Oh, idudana adu, like that. And you can correlate with the future lessons also that you are going to learn. You can guess, oh, this can be applied in that case also, like that. So this is called correlation. You have to relate it. And then progressive learning curve. Here, the learning curve, it should be like a double S curve. It is slowly increases like a fan. It's not like a the bulb, electric bulb. It won't instantly start rotating. Slowly it picks up the speed and attains the top speed. And when you switch off once again, it slowly comes down. So likewise, the learning process is also starts slowly and picks up at a terrific speed, and it should come out slowly also. So, but it should not come down. It should be retained at certain level. Whatever we have learned should be retained. And for the retention of that knowledge, teaching is the highest order of learning. Are you able to understand? When you teach others, when you give a tutorial session to others, and that is why I give you a lot of opportunity to take seminar, take classes to other guys. But at the same time, you should also listen to your seniors and other guys who are taking classes. You should not just like that underestimate. So, the presentation is also very, very important here. And this learning occurs at various levels. And not only that, you have to continue learning till the last breath of your life. You cannot stop. You cannot claim that, hey, I learned everything, that's all, finished. Then you become useless. It means what? That is, you can attain only that stage. Beyond that, you cannot go. So learning should be a continuous process. But the selection of field is left to you. Are you able to follow? And that is why even some elders, they will show some interest towards their field when it is taught even at SciTech. And here, let me give this graphical representation so that you should try to understand this. Our objective is to develop this learning curve. In fact, let us consider here, there is a slow rise and it is highlighted by blue line. So this is the topics, okay? And we are going through this topic. By the time we go on increasing, the learning level will also be increasing. But after that you get tired, the level may come down. but it should be retained, and that is why likewise it goes. Okay, this is called double S curve of learning. But in order to maintain a smooth flow, this is the gamification area where you have to concentrate, that is highlighted by yellow. What do you mean by gamification? You should make the learning process very attractive. And you cannot simply make the learning very dry. What you are supposed to do? You have to convert this into various learning tasks. So can anyone explain about the learning task we have at SciTech? Can you, Darshini? Learning task. What are the learning tasks we have?
So, இப்போ ஒரு லெசன் அப்படியே எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம்னா நம்ம அந்த லெசன்லேருந்து ஃபஸ்ட்டு டாபிக் 3 ஒரு லெசனில் என்ன இப்போ மேத்ஸ் எடுத்துக்கோன்னா ஒரு லெசனில் எந்தெந்த டாபிக்ஸ் இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறத வி ஹேவ் டு லிஸ்ட் அவுட் ஃபஸ்ட்டு டாபிக் 3 தட் இஸ் டிடி. The next one is terms, definitions, symbols, TDS. So terms, இந்த லெசனில் இருக்க டேர்ம்ஸ் என்ன, அதுக்கு டெஃபினிஷன்ஸ் என்ன, அண்ட் இப்போ சயின்ஸாக இருந்தால் வந்து சிம்பிள்ஸ் என்னென்ன சிம்பிள்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க அப்படின்றத லிஸ்ட் அவுட் பண்ணுறோம். DEF, third tool வந்து DEF, that is data, equation and formula. So physics எடுத்துக்கிட்டா நமக்கு various formulas வரும் and derivations வரும். ஸோ அதெல்லாம் வந்து லிஸ்ட் அவுட் பண்ணி எழுதுறது. நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து IG, infographics. Infographicsனா அந்த லெசன்ல இருக்கிற கிராஃபிக்ஸ் என்னென்ன, பிகாஸ் நமக்கு வந்து பிக்சர்ல கீழே இருக்கிற கேப்ஷன்ல இருந்து கூட வில் கெட் சம் கொஸ்டின். ஸோ அதுவும் நம்ம இம்பார்ட்டண்டா ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்றதுனால ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம வந்து டயக்ராம் வரைஞ்சிட்டு பார்ட்ஸ் வந்து ஃப்ரண்ட்ல லேபிள் பண்ண மாட்டோம். ஜஸ்ட் ABC மார்க் பண்ணிட்டு செப்பரேட்டா அந்த ABC என்னங்கிறத அந்த ரெஸ்பெக்டிவ் பார்ட்ஸை வந்து எழுதுவோம். நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து CM, தட் இஸ் கான்செப்ட் மேப். ஒரு லெசன்ல இருக்கிற ஒரு கான்செப்ட், ஒரு டாபிக் மட்டும் எடுத்துட்டு அந்த கான்செப்டை பேஸ் பண்ணி என்னென்ன சப் கான்செப்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு அதை அப்படியே மேப் பண்றது கான்செப்ட் மேப். அதே கான்செப்ட் மேப்ல வந்து MPM அப்படின்னு ஒன்று போடுவோம், தட் இஸ் ஃபார் மேப்ஸ், மாடல் ப்ராப்ளம் மேப்பிங். ஒரு கான்செப்ட்ல இந்த ஃபார்முலா பேஸ் பண்ணி டிஃப்ரெண்ட் டைப்ஸ் ஆஃப் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்குறாங்க, இல்லைனா இதை ஒரு ஃபார்முலா வச்சு இத்தனை டைப்ஸ் ஆஃப் கொஸ்டின் கேட்கலாம் அப்படிங்கிறத மேப் பண்ணலாம். இல்லைனா இந்த எக்ஸசைஸ் எடுத்துட்டாலே இந்த சம்ஸ் தான் கேட்பாங்க அப்படிங்கிறத மேப் பண்றது MPM. அண்ட் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் வந்து ஸ்கெட்ச் நோட், SKன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அது வந்து ஹோல் சம்மரி ஆஃப் த லெசன், ஒரு ஃபுல் லெசனை வந்து அப்படியே ஒன் பேஜ்ல வந்து நம்ம மேப் பண்ணி எழுதுறது வந்து ஸ்கெட்ச் நோட்.
Okay, very good. So Darshini was able to explain very clearly, and these are all the 7 tools, the learning tools we have been using. Now that is at present we have slightly modified also, like that is let us target the question bank, because question is the important that is the element that is going to encounter you in the examination, is it not? Now what is the present trend and how we manage students at SciTech, Pavani?
So now the current trend is we have focused the question more. So as already sir said, we have to make the question as our best friend so that it does not affect us during exam. Because we should not see the question as an enemy. So for that what we should do, we should familiarize all the questions. For that we are writing all the list of questions. We have to take maximum number of questions and write it in the question bank. And we should not just write the question, we have to practice it. So we are writing it as a we have to reproduce the answers in the GP, that is guided practice. And we should not only leave as a practice, we should test ourselves whether we are able to see that whether we are able to write that in the particular time. That is, if 5 minutes is given for a question, we have to write that in 3 minutes. We have to try that in 3 minutes. If 10 minutes is given, we have to try that in 5 minutes. So we have to test ourselves with time targeted test, that is TP. And next, at last, and in the middle we can write a mirror test, that is, we can test ourselves with short intervals, that is 1 question, 2 questions, 3 questions. In physics and all, we have big derivations. In the derivations and all, we can write in mirror test and see. And target test is, we have to write 6 questions and see in target test. And at last, if we complete a unit based on this system, we can write a unit test based on this, based on our question bank. So all these questions, GP, TP and UT are based on our question bank. So we should maintain the question banks, and the same question will be followed in GP, TP and UT. So this
Good.
is our
Very good. So thereby we maintain the tempo of learning, the interest of learning. There won't be any lagging or lack of interest in learning. And we used to give a lot of quiz, online quiz, and we have got Kahoot quiz, all these things. So that will encourage you, and we used to give lot of gift points also based on the scoring. So these are all the gamification ideas, so that you can maintain the the learning spirit. So thereby you are able to achieve, are able to follow, and the learning tools which are used here, okay, actually that is for a very effective. If you have got a particular learning objective with a very effective tool, means you can just like that increase the learning speed. So this is the idea of this learning curve. Now let us move on to the next one. Here, why we study and what are all the areas we have to cover. For example, we have to cover the learning domains. Which are all the learning domains? They are called the cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor. Cognitive means that is knowledge based. Cognitive means knowledge based. So you have to memorize the material given, and you have to pay attention. Then you have to, that is, study the process of information. You have to process the information. All these things come under what? The cognitive mode of learning. And not only that, here the visual and auditory aspects are very, very important. And there will be some logic also. So you may be having some reasoning, and thereby you can increase the processing speed. So these things are focused on cognitive, only knowledge based. This is the knowledge based learning. So our regular, suppose if we take mathematics, all these are required. So there are some subjects which require only the knowledge based elements like this cognitive domain. Suppose if you drive a car, if you want to learn driving a car, where such cognitive domain is not much required, am I right? Where the practical skills are promoted. So that is where actually physical skills are important here. In between that, you have got some affective domain. Affective domain means that is your feeling. For example, that is, you would have seen some movie and you would have been terribly upset with the values and the themes given in that movie, and probably that movies will be almost that is running through your brain and mind for 2 or 3 days. It would have created some impact on you. Your feelings, your emotions, they touch their emotions. So these are all the affective, this come under affective domain. So what are the elements coming under affective domain? Values and attitudes. Probably that is, I am giving some motivation lecture. It affects your which domain? That is affective domain. Are you able to understand this? Right. And that is why in learning this is much required. That is this affective domain. Affective domain learning process. Because it touches the feelings, it touches the values, and there will be some appreciation. For example, when Vaideshwar, he works out some problem, when I say, hey, very good, Ra, you can proceed further, he feels a little bit appreciated. Some encouragement, is it not? And you will derive a boldness also. And that is why such kind of motivation is required from the teacher. Okay? Right. And this results in change in attitude towards the subject or towards learning. And that is why I said learning is change of attitude. And the last one, that is psychomotor. Here we talk about the physical skills. Here the skills should be properly utilized, and there should be some hand-eye coordination. In fact, that is, we used to teach our Balvikas children also to show Arati, and they have to ring the bell also simultaneously. It indicates that actually that is the teacher is testing her capability, because there will be some lack of coordination for certain children. They are unable to do 2 jobs at a time. And they will be doing differently also. What you are expected, You will be showing Arati like this in front of God. At the same time, you have to ring the bell. What will happen? They will do like this. Is it not? So they will not get initially that training. So in order to give that training support, okay, so they are allowing the students to show Arati in front of God. So this is one of the styles. Right. Now let me go to the further. So as I already told you, the coordination. You would have seen even some teachers, when they write on board, they will not speak. When they speak, they will not write. Is it not? You could have observed. But a good teacher, he should show coordination between these two. They are supposed to do both simultaneously. Okay? So this is also a skill. Okay, and that is why we touch the psychomotor domain also. And operating a machine. For example, when you are asked to handle the burette, hey, fix the burette erectly and smoothly open the stopcock. Okay, and ensure that test tube, that burette is perfectly mounted. Most of the guys, they will not perfectly mounted. They would not have done that. And when they switch on the stopcock or open it, the entire burette will come down. That will lead to accidents. It means it is because of lack of skill, so you have to improve. And that is why practicals are given to you. You should know how to handle the test tube. So likewise, so for engineering subjects and science subjects, this kind of psychomotor domain training is required. And that is why it is called psychomotor. Are you able to follow? That is both knowledge and mechanical work are treated equally. Then let us come to this topic, that is cognitive domain. According to Bloom's taxonomy, you know, what is taxonomy? Study of classification, is it not? So he describes the cognitive domain as various levels of learning. First is knowledge. So you have to acquire the knowledge, followed by comprehension. You should understand the subject. And then application. So that is why we are doing the practice of guided practice, target practice, mirror test, all these things. And analysis. So when you do this, I used to say that is even for our IAS students to do the analysis in a better way. For example, Hindu paper news analysis, newspaper analysis. Okay, so current affairs analysis. Take one topic, and this topic wherever that is in which title, in which that is a paper it comes, all these things should be there. Okay, and then synthesis and followed by evaluation. Okay, right. Synthesis means you should be able to prepare by yourself. Okay, and finally you should be subjected to what? Evaluation. So when you look at here this knowledge, when you talk about knowledge, that is you should be able to recall. That is very important. Recall means what? At any time, for example, when I say a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b squared, and that formula should be used in this problem. Okay, you should remember that equation. Without knowing the trigonometry formula, how can you solve the problem? So that is why we insist on flashcard to improve your memory. We used to call flash memory card. Okay, so instantly you should not that is wait. It should be an instant recall. When I ask you, hey, what is tan 45? What is that? 1. It should come out spontaneously. So where it was recorded, it is a wonderful thing. All of a sudden, just like that, it bounces and comes as an answer. Am I right? In such a way, it should be memorized. So this memory can be worked out in two ways. One is you can memorize as a standalone piece. Otherwise, you can practice a lot of sums based on this flashcard. Automatically, it gets memorized. After all, that is how many times you have used that tool, and thereby it becomes your friend. You can never forget. Or you will follow me now? Nobody will forget Pythagoras theorem. Do you know why? Because in most of the cases you would have used. This will be one of the easiest questions also. And nobody will forget what is a plus b whole squared. You know very well, a squared plus b squared plus 2ab. But when I ask you, hey, what is a cube minus b cube? Sir, you will adjust. It means you are not practicing that problem. Or you will follow? So, when I ask you, what is Boyle's law? You will be stammering, you will be struggling to recall all these things. But when you iconize this as a formula, PV is equal to constant, that is Boyle's law. Is it so? Yes. V is equal to constant into 1 by P. Is it so? Yes. Because now you can say V proportionality 1 by V at constant T. Finished. Now it is recorded in your brain. You can beautifully recall the definition exactly as written in the textbook. The volume of a gas, the volume of a given mass of a gas is inversely proportional to pressure at constant temperature. Instantly it comes out. I am not memorizing until, but what I do, I have recorded this as a icon, and that is the equation icon. Do you understand? So likewise, this mnemonic, I think that is about mnemonic or Pavani will be discussing later. For example, we have got the VIBGYOR. When I say VIBGYOR, instantly we know the color, the visible spectrum, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Finished. So you should be able to, like a web address, https://scitechinfo.com, means that is the entire page will appear. You need not by heart the entire page, it will come out just like that. So like a web address, it should be what? Condensed as a code, it should be codified. And as I already told you, the recall is very, very important, and there is a recognition. Then translate. So when I say comprehension, you should be able to translate into other language also. And that can be done only with a complete understanding. And second thing is, that is interpret. You should be able to interpret whatever you have learned. And these things can be done by comprehending the subject. Is it not? In your own way you can interpret. And extrapolate. You can extend it further also, where it is applicable. Under application, that is the use of generalization and the specific instances that can be done. And analysis, here you can determine the relationships. You can compare with this and that. For example, you would have studied oxidation, you would have studied the reduction. Now you are comparing oxidation versus reduction. Is it not? You would have studied something about animal cell, you would have studied the plant cell. What are the differences between these? That can be achieved by the what? This kind of comparison. So likewise, create. So this is the synthetic work probably. That is, you are synthesizing in a new way by comparison. And finally, the exercise of learned judgment. That is the evaluation stage. You have to undergo the assessment, and that is why we should be able to get the centum at least by working in 3 levels. Are you able to follow this? So never forget this. And I think I have already talked about the learning strategy completely in a different video. Then affective domain. Affective domain means, that is receiving. When I say something, you should be able to receive my knowledge, even my emotions, even my feelings. And TV series are the best channels actually. Is it not? To transfer the affective domain. When any heroine is crying on the screen, and you will also be crying, it is immediately transferred. Okay? So that is the affective domain. So receiving and responding, immediately you are responding. Then valuing, and followed by organization and characterization. Organization means you must be able to make things properly and organize. And characterize, that is, you should be able to incorporate the values you have found, and you will be the role model also for that. Are you able to follow? And we have 2 more slides to be discussed. Psychomotor domain. Here we talk about the perception. Your idea about the machinery you are going to handle. You should have the superior surface level knowledge about that. When you are asked to learn a car, a bike, you should know where is the handlebar, where is the gear, Without that, you cannot do anything. So you should have some superficial knowledge about that. And then, and you should have the set, the where it is available and what is the function, the working. And then the guided response. And the coach will be guiding you, and you should be able to respond to him also. Then mechanism, and you should know some mechanism behind the working. That is called the working principle. Then complex overt response. It means that is the skillful performance of complete act. Once you are done, once you have undergone the training, and when you are capable of driving the car smoothly, then you are attained to that skill. Okay, and then adaptation, then origination. The adaptation, actually, that is you should be able to modify. For example, when you have learnt Maruti car only 800, but when you have bought some other car like Wagoner, you should be able to, no, I know only how to drive Maruti car, I don't know this car. You should be able to adapt. So that is the next level of learning. And finally, the origination. So you should know the pattern, and you should be able to create new things also. Okay, and this is regarding the what? The psychomotor domain. Next, the learning strategy, about which we already discussed. Now I invite Pavani to take over this session. Come.
So as we already discussed, our learning strategies are curriculum mapping, topic tree, flashcards, sys notes, sketch notes, question bank, guided practice, target practice, unit test, presentation and model exam. So as we have not yet discussed about flashcards, let me tell in detail about flashcards. So flashcard is nothing but a tool for memorizing things in an easy way. If for example in maths we'll have many formulas as we can, so but if we memorize the formula in a better way, then we can do the sums also in a better way. So flashcard is a tool to memorize the formulas. We can write all the formulas in the flashcard so that we can memorize that easily. And social, mainly social is the hardest thing to memorize, as we know. It has many theory parts, so we can convert that into a mnemonic. Mnemonic is nothing but, as already sir said, Vibgyor, violet, indigo. So the colors we have shorted into Vibgyor: violet, indigo, blue, yellow, orange, red. So Vibgyor, the colors. So like that, if we take a 10 marks question or 5 marks question or any big question, we can convert the small key points. We can take out the key points from the question, the big question, and we can convert the key points into a small word, the understandable word or a meaningful word. We can convert that into a word so that it can be easily memorized. So if we memorize the word, the full question answers will come to our mind, so that we can easily present that in our answer paper in a better way. So to present our to present our answers only, we use unit test, model exam, so that in exams they cannot accept mnemonics, right? So we have to present that in a neat way and expandable way. So for that we are using unit test and model exam. So remaining all have been discussed already in the session. Hope you gain knowledge from this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavani. So, towards the learning, having learnt all these things, you should know how to present it effectively. That is also very important. And that is why I am giving you this opportunity to give a better presentation. Okay. And finally, if you come across any examination, that is a model examination, okay, before going for any final examination, you should undergo some model examination under your mentor's guideline. Okay, so this is the way we have to take up this beautiful job. And here teacher and the taught, they have to collaboratively, that is mutually work together and can achieve the best result. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this wonderful video. If you have got any feedback or comments, you can give this in your comment column. Thank you.